Good morning. Yate Abene in Navajo. That's my ringtone, by the way, on my phone. So welcome, everybody. I just want to say thank you for joining us. It's my pleasure as the chairman of the board to acknowledge our 39th annual Reservation Economics Summit. I want to say thank you to the prayer and the opening post of colors. That's always, it warms my heart to see that. Also, I want to say thank you to my brothers and sisters, my relatives, all of our tribal leaders, and my fellow colleagues on the National Center Board of Directors. Thank you for being a part of this. I also want to thank our staff, Chris James, and the wonderful staff that we have. Again, Yate Bene She Derrick Watchman. It's Iskidi and She Tkohana Bashashin, Tkatnazani de Shecheado, Tkabahan Chanela. I'm originally from a little town called Navajo, New Mexico. My joke is I'm a Navajo from Navajo, and so a lot of folks don't know that. I'm actually I'm an entrepreneur too. I have my company, Sagebrush Hill Group, LLC, and I've been a consultant for the last 8 years, and it's been a wonderful experience and wonderful ride. But I have a background in banking, finance, gaming, tribal government, health, and a few other things. And so I just want to reflect today with you for the next 10 minutes or so, what it means to me to go beyond boundaries. That's the theme of our conference here, beyond boundaries. And so I think my story reflects going beyond the boundaries. And so you may know my story. My story is that I grew up in a little town called Navajo, New Mexico, right in the middle of the Navajo reservation, if you will. I consider myself, although you can't see it, a farmer, rancher. I was good in school. My brother and I and my family, we used to rodeo. So I used to be a header. And so my brother was a healer. He's a lefty, and so, get out of the chute, I turn, and he'd be right there. And so we participated in the Navajo Indian Junior Rodeo Association, a little bit in the ARCA, the All Indian Rodeo Cowboy Association. And then with my father, believe it or not, we used to be stock contractors. And so when I was in college, I used to basically be a calf contractor, and my father and brother used to contract bulls. So how many of you have actually been bull contractors, getting the bulls ready and getting ready for the rodeo? And so I did that growing up. Oh, there we go, yeah. Aside from that, if you go to Navajo, there's a gas station there. The gas station, it's now a marathon. We've gone through many different operators. But my father opened that gas station in 1967. And so I remember growing up, especially at the gas stations, every night you have to roll the quarters, roll the coins, get ready for the bankroll. And so I think that's what opened my eyes, to being an entrepreneur and a business person. So 40 years later, okay, we're here, and so I tested the boundaries. I've had the opportunity to work on Wall Street. I had 2 opportunities to work for my tribal government, close in hand with our 2 former Navajo leaders. I've had the opportunity to be on an energy company board and a few other things. And so I believe I've tested the boundaries. And so why are we here? Why are we here? Number one, as you heard on the video, we're here for economic opportunities, which I think is very important. We're also here to network. I've taken the opportunity many years to network, and so I see many of my friends, colleagues over the years, and so it's so great to see you. I'm so glad you're here to be a part of, this economic thing. We have an economic engine here that's working. And so, but the work is still ahead of us. We talked about all the prosperous activities on the video, but there's a lot more. I still travel Indian country. And it's great to be out there, but there's still a lot of improvement. My goal, my wife and I, and hi honey, good morning, sorry. I've been so busy. My goal as a chairman of the board for the National Center is to make sure and see that we bring any economic opportunity to our reservations. We need capital, we need water, we need land, we need human resources. And in the last few years, just looking at, for example, our economic data, unfortunately, many of our young are leaving our reservations. We're seeing, significant migration. For what? I think a lot of us are moving to border towns, for economic opportunities, for jobs, for education. So how do we collectively work together to bring our people home? In Navajo, that's Denepikeya, that's home. That's fundamental. And so when we talk about capitalism and entrepreneurship, how do we bring the capital home so that we can keep our young home? Feed and clothe and provide, very safe conditions for our elders. How do we keep people home? That's my goal. So what that means is that we all have to work together. We have to work together to bring the jobs, to bring the capital, to bring economic opportunities to each and every one of our reservations. Yes, we have gaming. Gaming has been prosperous for everybody, but there's still, I think, the business sector that still needs to be developed. So when I look at the Reservation Economic Summit 2025, I see all those opportunities. I see those possibilities. I see us going beyond boundaries to bring commerce, jobs, economic activity, and capital to our reservations, all of them, all 400, 300 plus reservations, to all of the 574 federally recognized tribes and our Alaska Native brothers and our state recognized. How do we bring everybody home? So I challenge you and I encourage you to take advantage of all the opportunities here. It's probably a age-old thing, but exchange those business cards, shake hands, say hi, get out of your own boundaries. I know I have a hard time with that. My wife says, you got to get out there, and make a difference. And so I grew up as a, maybe, I'm not sure, shy, but, a reserved Navajo man. You know how we are. You sit here and, so I've tried to get beyond that so that I can grow myself. I can teach others, there's possibilities. So yes, I'm a Navajo from Navajo, but through the National Center, through the Reservation Economic Summits, I've been able to grow. I've been able to share all the insights and all the knowledge that I've learned over the last 40 years. Believe it or not, 40 years. I went to Res 87. 87, and that was, I think there's probably, maybe this section here was the size of a Reservation Economic Summit. Now look at the room, it's amazing. It's amazing. So thank you again to my board of directors, my colleagues, the staff, all the supporters, and all of our sponsors, for making this possible. The National Center offers many, many opportunities. We have 25 plus staff. We have a lot of contractors. As you'll find out, we run monthly our Native Edge Institutes. We're working on our Native C-to-5 program. We have our Accelerator, which is a form of PTAC program. We're into tourism. We're into international business, and many, many more. I know we're dealing with some challenges nationally, and let's not let that drag us down. I think it's just a challenge for us as Native people. To coalesce, to work together, to identify our strong points, and to prosper. Yes, we might have some impacts at the federal level, but I think for us, that's a challenge for us, and that's to build our own resources. Be independent, be sovereign, be financially independent, economic sovereignty. I think for me, that's what, this current condition is making us move toward, economic sovereignty, tribal sovereignty. So I think that's where we're headed. So we have many, many, many challenges ahead of us, but each and every one of us here, if we challenge ourselves to work together, to make the best of what we do, I think we can get there. I would love for my daughter to say, I'm going to go home and work on my reservation and make a big difference. I'm going to create jobs. I'm going to have a family there. I'm going to make a big difference so that myself, my relatives, our brothers and sisters can come home. That's what I want to see for my daughter and her children and many generations beyond. That's important. Because if we forget about home, Home may not be there, because we're still in a vulnerable state of, our existence with the federal government. So we need to protect and preserve our homelands. How do we do that? We do that with economic prosperity, economic resources. So thank you again for being a part of our Reservation Economic Summit. I think it's important that we all, think about why we're here. The last thing that I want to emphasize and talk about is our language and our culture. As I get older, 40 years ago, I think I wanted to be a true capitalist. I want to make millions of dollars, make lots of money. And I was forgetting, that, hey, I'm Navajo. And don't forget the culture. Don't forget our Hatatlis, the medicine people, and what they're saying. Now, my hair is gray. Now I'm starting to say, hey, what our medicine people are telling us is valid. It's very, very important. So what our medicine people are telling us is that, okay, don't forget, learn your language. And I know some of us, are striving to learn it, but how do we do that? Learn your language, because knowing your language really gives you the essence of the prayers and the songs and the whole meaning of the traditional way of life. So I'm really happy, to re-engage, in my case, the Navajo culture, the Navajo ways. And what's that telling me is that we're only a small, see this little dot here, we're only a small part, of the big universe. But we can certainly make a difference. So how do we use our prayers, our songs, our language to grow, to be a part of this great world? So I encourage all of us, let's expand our language, let's improve our language, let's tell our young, don't forget about, your language. In our language, the Nepekeya, how do you learn your language? The Nepazad, your language and your land. So I encourage all of you, to impress upon your relatives, your friends, your young, don't forget your language. It's very, very important, in my opinion, so I'm just sharing it with you. So we have 3 full days ahead of you. Many, many different sessions, as Chris James and the team will talk about. We have a lot of opportunities. So when you leave here, I hope you have a big stack of business cards, number one. I hope you have a lot of opportunities and you set up a lot of meetings. So when you get those business cards, you set those meetings, make sure you follow up. I know I'm not good at getting a bunch of business cards. Yeah, I'll call you. Yeah, good to see you. I'll call you. Here's my card. And I forget about it. Let's follow up. Let's create those business opportunities. Let's go beyond our boundaries. And let's stick together. I know that through the National Center, with what's happening in Washington, we're working hard with the Indian Gaming Association, National Contractors Association, National Native American Contractors Association, Native American Finance Officers Association, all the different regional groups. Our message, let's continue to work together. Let's continue to put the issues on the table when it comes to what's happening in Washington, D.C. We've been through these issues before, and we'll get through it. We're resilient. We're tough. We're strong. We're smart. We got all the resources behind us. We got the land behind us. We got our ways. We got our family. We got our resources. That's what will keep us strong. That's what can move us forward. Many, many years and centuries to go. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. So enjoy our conferences. I was looking at LinkedIn. There's so many receptions. It's unbelievable. So I'm glad the National Center is a conduit for all the extracurricular activities. And so thank you. Thank you to other organizations for being a part of that. And so I wish we did this 20 years ago. I'd go all night and go to all of them, but I need to get to bed by 9 or 10 o'clock so I can survive the next day. But enjoy yourselves. Have fun. Make connections. And remember the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development. Remember us. We are the sponsor of the Reservation Economics Summit. Remember the National Center. We're here to help make things happen. Our saying is that we mean business, and we do. We do. So with that, I want to say again, aheha. From the bottom of my heart, my family, to you and your families, your leaders, your families, everybody here back home. Aheha, have a great time and enjoy the Reservation Economic Summit 2025. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.